Niners fans, it's about that time. 8 o'clock on a Thursday. Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is? It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Once again, it's a pleasure to be in front of the faithful, the Niner Empire. The best fans, y'all know it, in the NFL. How's everyone doing on a Thursday? Hopefully, everyone's had a good week so far. One day until Friday, and potentially a 4-day weekend for some people with the 4th of July on Sunday. Hope everyone's having a good week. This show, well, first off, shout out to everyone watching on that good old Spotlight Sports Network. Shout out to everyone watching, of course, on Jay in the Bay. And of course, y'all know this show is nothing. This show is nothing without the fans, without the faithful. And of course, I welcome all NFL fans, especially fans who are in the NFC West division, the Cardinals, the Rams, the Seahawks. I definitely want you guys to come in too. And first, let's say what's up to the people in them comments. And the first person today looks like it's going to be Osby Sports. What's good? I see what you're doing, Osby. Keep putting out that good content, Osby. Thanks for coming through to the stream, man. I appreciate you. Luke Luna, what's good? Thanks for coming through to the stream, man. Luke is one of my newer subscribers, and I appreciate you coming through to the stream. Hopefully, you have a good time, enjoy yourself while we talk about the red and gold, man. Let's continue on with the comments. Niner Faithful, what's good? How you doing today, Niner Faithful? How your week going so far, man? You looking forward to the 4th of July weekend? Let me know, man. It's like Niner Faithful says he needs to get that Debo jersey, 75th anniversary. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of jerseys that I would love to get. Debo would be one. Of course, Kittle, Warner, the Ayuk show. Of course, Brandon Ayuk. But yeah, it's going to be an incredible year, you know, of course, because it's y'all see it, the 75th anniversary season. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what type of jersey you guys want, 75th anniversary. Let me know in the comments section. Let's see, Redder 4. What's good? Redder 4 says, I have a Debo Samuel jersey, except it's his South Carolina one. I dig it. Now you got to cop that 49er one, that red and gold one, man. Golden Grizz YouTube, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How you doing? How your week going? Red Sports, first time I seen you in the stream. Appreciate you coming through. He says, what happened to Darian? Darian is still on that good old Spotlight Sports Network. But tonight we talking about, you see it, the red and gold, Red Sports. So hang out if you want. We'll talk about the 49ers, the red and gold, the state of the franchise that just happened a day ago. And thanks for coming through to the stream, man. 49ers first take. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. He says, just stopping by in. How are you? My Cardinals live stream never recorded somehow, but Squabble says it was successful. Yeah, sorry to hear that, man. I just watched your video about an hour ago, and you mentioned that. Yes, that's weird that happened. But hopefully the next time you guys film it, I could stop by and listen to what Squabble says about them good old Seattle Seahawks, man. But I'm doing good, man. I'm looking forward to the weekend, 4th of July weekend. So looking forward to the weekend, man. How you doing? Will Federico, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How you doing, man? How you doing this week? Thanks for tuning in. Let's see, TJ Watt from the good old Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm humbled. I'm humbled. It's the actual TJ Watt. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. I think that's Redder, though. I think that's Redder. Yeah, I had a feeling that was Redder. Yeah. 49er Faithful, he says, doing good, Jay. I'm going to have a barbecue on the 4th, and I hope we don't lose the game in those jerseys. Yeah, I know. Have fun on the 4th with your barbecue. And yeah, I believe the red home jerseys will be on the primetime games. I believe that's 5 games, I believe, or it might be 4 games where we'll have the red jerseys on, and 2 games where we'll have the away white jersey. So I'm definitely looking forward, because the first game of the year, faithful, will be against some good old Green Bay Packers, Sunday Night Football prime time. And those red 94 jerseys will be debuted, for the 2021 season. So I'm definitely excited for that. And it's on prime time. The whole world is watching, faithful. So let's continue on with the comments. 49ers First Take says, I've been good on a mini vacation. That's good, man. Rest up, man. Your body needs that. Travis Berg, what's good? How you doing, man? Thanks for coming through to the stream. Let's see. Osby Sports says, what are your thoughts on the defense this year? I'm very optimistic about the defense. Is it as good as 2019 season? Probably not. But I think we can definitely make strides to that. That could definitely be a goal of ours, to get back to that point, or maybe to be even better. I could see, Fred Warner, best middle linebacker in the NFL. Nick Bosa is coming off that torn ACL. We'll see how he progresses throughout the season. John Lynch did an excellent job with re-signing our secondary with the corners, with Verrett, Mosley, K'Waun Williams back. I think that's a pretty good 3 tandem right there at the cornerback position. We brought the safeties back, Jaquiski Tartt, of course, Jimmy Ward. The defensive line is been replenished with talent: Arden Key, Maurice Hurst, Samson Ebukam, and of course, Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw. Javon Kinlaw, expectations are really high for Kinlaw. And I think, defense will be one of the strengths of the team for sure. I think so. But thanks for your comment, Osby. Travis Berg says 32nd B-Day Sunday. Happy early birthday. If you're streaming that day, I'll definitely make sure to come through, wish you a happy birthday on the actual day. I'm not sure if there'll be any basketball games, but you usually stream Mets too. So, yeah, I'll definitely come through Sunday, man. What are you doing on your birthday? Let me know in the comment section. 49 Faithful says, have fun, 49ers. 49er Faithful giving you a birthday wish, Travis. Happy birthday. Let's see. TJ Watt says, I saw a vid on their throwback or something like that jerseys. Yeah. The 49ers, we're going to have the jerseys that we wore in the 94 season. That also was, our last successful Super Bowl season. And we'll be wearing those for a few of the primetime games we're having this year. So I'm definitely excited for that. Check them out, man. Google it. They are pretty nice. Travis Berg says, thanks, Faithful. Niner Faithful says, earlier, Jimmy Ward was on IG Live, says, how's he going to lock up every tight end this year? Hey, we hope so, man. We hope so, or at least I believe in Jimmy. I think he could definitely do that. At least slow some tight ends down. I'd have to look at our schedule to see if we have any like elite tight ends, because we're not playing the Raiders, so we don't have to worry about Darren Waller. We're not playing the Chiefs in the regular season, so we don't have to worry about Travis Kelce. So yeah, I had to look at the schedule to see who are the best tight ends we're playing. Let's see. TJ Watt says, who's your third string quarterback? Who cares about the third string, TJ? No, I'm just kidding. It'll probably be a battle between what's his name? What the guy we got from, he used to be on the Cardinals, used to be on the Dolphins, Josh Rosen. It'll probably be a battle between Josh Rosen and Sudfeld. Those would be my guess. So I figure, Jimmy G would start, Trey Lance would back him up, and then it'd probably be between Sudfeld and Rosen. That would probably be the third string quarterback. Travis Berg says he will be live Sunday. All right, man. I'll definitely check you out. And I look forward to seeing you then. Let's see. Travis Berg says, oh, snap. 49ers brought back throwbacks. Hopefully the Raiders bring back theirs. Yeah, man. I'm definitely excited for the 49ers throwbacks. And it's a great time to bring them back. It's the 75th anniversary of the team. The fans will be back in the stadium. So that's definitely exciting. 100% capacity. And, I will definitely segue into what this show is about today. So, of course, the 49ers had their state of the franchise. This was, I believe it was yesterday. And there's definitely some things that I took away from that. But before I talk about the state of the franchise, we got to talk about the 49ers latest news. And I'm not sure if everyone heard, but let's see. Let me take this off. So the 49ers latest news, the 49ers were actually one of 3 teams that were fined, which is crazy. One of 3 teams that were fined, and it was for the OTA violations. And the other 2 teams that were fined were the Jaguars and the Cowboys. We had heard about this a few weeks ago that the 49ers had violated OTA violations. Basically, the play was, I believe, it was Demoridori Lenore, and he was locking up one of the receivers on the Niners. And basically, you can't have any contact in the OTAs. They outlaw contact, which is understandable. And the 49ers were one of the teams that violated that OTA. So that was some of the breaking news. I believe the fine was like $100,000 to the team and then $50,000 to Kyle Shanahan for that OTA violation. I mean, it was contact, but it wasn't like he was hitting the guy. It wasn't like he was tackling. It wasn't like he brought him to the ground. But rules are rules. What can you do about that? And of course, we had to talk about the 49ers state of the franchise. If you guys saw the state of the franchise, let me know in the comment section what you thought about the 49ers state of the franchise. What were some of your biggest takeaways from the state of the franchise? And I will give you my 5 takeaways from the 49ers state of the franchise as we continue on with the live stream. But first, let's continue on with these comments because we got people in the chat. Let's see. 49er Faithful says he was showing highlights of him clapping up Zach Ertz. Okay. And I heard Zach Ertz, I heard he might be getting traded to the Buffalo Bills. And that would be a good move for the Bills. I was hoping the Niners maybe could get Zach Ertz. But, we'll see what happens. It's not final yet. TJ Watt says, I love the Steelers color rush jerseys, and I'm not biased. Yeah, they are pretty nice. I can't lie. KD, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How your week going? You looking forward to the 4th of July weekend? Let me know in them comments. Let's see. Jay says, what's good? What's good, Jay? He says, can't wait to see the one and only Bryant Young returning to the 49ers. Yeah, it's definitely long overdue. Bryant Young has been one of the, best defensive linemen we've had easily in the last like 2 decades, maybe 2 or 3 decades by now. There's no doubt Bryant Young is a pillar in this organization, one of the great 49ers, easily, like I said, over the last 2 to 3 decades. And it's good to hear that he's going to get enshrined into the 49ers Hall of Fame. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Let's see. Jay says it's going to be in Levi's. Yeah, definitely. TJ Watt says he thinks Ertz is going to the Titans. Man, that'd be crazy if the Titans got Zach Ertz. That would be something else. First Julio, now Zach Ertz. Like, that'd be crazy. Luke says Kittle and Warner got me pumped up listening to them on the state of the franchise. Yes, yeah, and that's definitely something I'm going to talk about. I appreciate your comment, Luke. It was definitely good to see and hear. 2 of basically the best player on offense, Kittle, the best player on defense, Warner. Come together and speak about, their contributions to the team, how they can get better. And, it was definitely a good thing to see. And it's funny because, those 2 players were day 2 draft picks. They weren't even first round picks, but they worked their way to the status they are now. And of course, got to give a shout out to the coaching staff as well, that guided them to their current state as, 2 of the best players in the NFL. Let's see. Niner Faithful says it was okay. John and Kyle were asking if this team is better, our Super Bowl team, and John said yes, but Kyle didn't really answer the question. I mean, I think, of course, the political answer is to say yes. Like, oh, yeah, of course we're better than we were. But, I guess it remains to be seen. We'll see what happens. I think it depends, on a few factors. Of course, the play of Jimmy G, the offensive line, the running game, the defense, how will play. But I think it could definitely get to that point where we are as good as the 2019 season. Jay says Bryant Young should be in Canton right now. I respect that, man. That's an excellent point. I don't know Bryant Young's stats off the top of my head, but we could go through them right now. Let's see. Because I know he won Defensive Player of the Year, and he was a part of that Super Bowl team. And man, he was very durable. If you look at Bryant Young's stats, he's a very durable player. He played in like 16 games every year of his career, except for like 3 seasons. And looks like he played for 13 years. Now, he's definitely a great 49er player of all time. I would say Bryant Young. But if you look at his stats, if you compare them to other Hall of Famers, defense, and he did play the defensive tackle position. He wasn't playing edge rusher. Usually edge rushers, they get more sacks. Usually the interior guys don't get as many sacks. But for his career, he had 89.5 sacks. That's pretty good. So it would be interesting to see someone who played during that same time frame and look at his stats as well. But no doubt, he's definitely one of the great 49ers that I remember seeing playing, because I became a fan right around the time I became a fan like in 97, 98. He was already on the team, but he's definitely one of the great interior defensive tackles the 49ers have seen, in quite some time. So shout out to Bryant Young. I'm glad he's definitely getting inducted into the 49er Hall of Fame. But Canton, that's a good question. That's a good point. It's like Jay says, man, Zach Ertz, Julio, AJ, that's scary. Yeah. I mean, the Titans offense would basically be unstoppable with Henry running the ball, and then also with the targets they have in the receiving game. That would be that would be embarrassment of riches for the Titans if they did that. Jay says, now I'm a Titans fan. Joke, just kidding. 49er faithful, Jay, have you heard any news about Fred Warner's extension? I have not. I know with George Kittle's extension, I believe he got signed in August, or it might have been like a week or two before the first game of that season. But it's not a matter of if he'll get extended with the Niners. It's just a matter of when. And I think hopefully the 49ers extend him sooner than later. There's another linebacker who was selected in the same draft class as Fred Warner. That was Darius Leonard. He's also up for a contract extension. And honestly, if you look at the stats of Warner and Leonard, basically beats out Fred Warner in every stat. So I'm sure Darius Leonard's camp is going to want more money than whatever Fred Warner gets. So I think it would be in the Niners' best interest that, sign Fred Warner before Darius Leonard. Because if it's the other way around, Fred Warner will probably want more than what Darius Leonard got. So to avoid that 49ers, why not extend him right now? I'm not sure what they're waiting on, but I think Fred Warner will be a 49er for a very long time, and I don't think that's something we should really worry about. But, I definitely feel you, 49er faithful. I definitely want him signed sooner than later. TJ Watt says, imagine if someone says to the Texans coach, are the Texans good? He says yes. I mean, he's not going to say no, right? He might say, we're working toward that. And, they're putting their best foot forward, but, who's their quarterback? I think it's Tyrod Taylor. So, not much to expect from the Texans. Jay says, sorry, I have a habit of just kidding. No, it's all good, Jay. No worries. No problem, man. I appreciate your contributions to the chat today, man. I appreciate it. Jay says we're going to be number 1 in the NFC West. I could definitely see that. I think our toughest opponents in the NFC West are probably I would say the Rams and Seahawks. Russell Wilson has always been a problem ever since the Seahawks drafted him. And with the Rams, they upgraded with Stafford. They also got more weapons on the offensive side of the ball. So, the Rams and Seahawks definitely will be problems in the NFC West. And I think the Cardinals are they are a good team. I feel like if they were in a different division, they would probably win the division. Like if you put the Cardinals in the NFC East, they would probably win that division. But I think the Cardinals will probably be the last team in the division to this year. But I think they'll definitely still be in contention for the playoffs. I think they'll still have double-digit wins. 49er Faithful says, what are your thoughts on Pat Willis and the 49ers Hall of Fame? It's well deserved. I definitely agree. It's definitely well deserved. No doubt Pat Willis was a pillar on this 49ers team with Harbaugh. And then you had, him and Bowman, two of the best linebacking tandems in the NFL I ever saw. So it's definitely well deserved. And hopefully Pat Willis can get some consideration into the Canton NFL Hall of Fame. I know the knock on Pat Willis is that he didn't play that many seasons. I believe it's only like 7 seasons, I think. But there have been players who have played that amount or less that went into the Hall of Fame, like Terrell Davis. I know he's a running back. I know he was part of that 2 Super Bowl team with the Denver Broncos, so that could be why. But there are other players who have gotten into the Hall of Fame with the same amount of years or less years than Pat Willis. So Jay says, which 49ers Super Bowl team you think was the best? So, totally honest, I haven't seen the 49ers win a Super Bowl. I started watching the Niners like in 97, 98. So the most recent one where we had a victory was the 94, 95 team. And I would say, they were probably pretty good. Of course, the 80s teams were probably the best, right? I mean, 3 Super Bowls in that decade. So I would probably say the 80s teams were probably the best. But it's unfortunate I didn't get a chance to see them. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see a Super Bowl victory next year real soon. Jay says sign Warner for 6 years. I agree. Yeah, we should do a 5-6 year deal. I'm definitely down with that. Let's see. Jay says he's going to be a Niner for 20 years. Let's hope so, man. Jay says the Dallas Poop Boys think Charles Haley is a Cowboys legend. Charles Haley called the Dallas Poop Boys a bunch of losers. He's right. They are losers. Yeah, compared to the Niners, they definitely are losers. TJ says, I'm going to win Defensive Player of the Year. TJ Watt. You got a good chance. You're definitely an excellent edge rusher. But I think Nick Bosa might have something to say about that. AD, has Trey Lance signed his contract yet? No, he has not. Not sure what they're waiting on, but no, Trey Lance has not signed his contract yet. I'm trying to think. Have the draft picks before him signed? I'm thinking about was Zach Wilson and the kid in Jacksonville, forgetting his name, from Clemson. Have they signed their contracts yet? That's an interesting question. Maybe someone in the chat can help us out with that. Let's see. Sam Dog, what's good? Seattle Seahawks fan, man. Thanks for coming through to the stream, man. Hopefully you're having a good week and have fun this 4th of July weekend, man. Appreciate you coming through. Yeah, 49 Fable says not yet. TJ Watt agrees with a lot of 49er fans. Warner deserves a lot of money. Definitely agree with that. Brandon DeKing, what's good? Appreciate you coming through the stream, man. How's your week going? Hopefully you enjoying this Niner stream. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, Jay, thank you very much, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I'm not sure if Trevor Lawrence or Zach Wilson have signed their contracts yet. So yeah. But going back to the faithful react to the 49ers state of the franchise. So I came away with 5 takeaways from the 49ers state of the franchise. Number 5 was some new information about the 49ers will be allowing fans at training camp practice. So I think this is very cool. And I believe the practices will be held at Levi Stadium, so the fans will be able to attend. I'm not sure how many fans will be able to attend. I think that's pretty cool. We get to see the players up close, and we get to see them practice. I think that's pretty cool experience. I mean, that's basically watching a game from the stadium. So I think that's pretty cool. And I believe training camp starts July 27th. Definitely looking forward to that date. And that was one of the takeaways from the 49ers state of the franchise that I learned was that the 49ers will be allowing fans at training camp. And it's funny because obviously last year, the COVID season, there was no mini camps, there was no OTAs, there was no training camp, no preseason. So it's definitely something that I'm not going to take for granted. Hopefully I can make it out there one day and see the players up close and personal. And I think that would definitely be an excellent experience. So that was one of the takeaways. Let's continue on with these comments. Let's see. Sam Dog says going to shoot some fireworks. Also, one of our undrafted players I heard about that. Yeah, man, that's crazy. One of the Seahawks undrafted players was indicted for murder. Yeah, I heard about that. That's a crazy story. But yeah, be safe out there when you're shooting fireworks, Sam Dog. TJ Watt says he's going to be a Steeler for life. I feel you. Let's see. Sam Dog says, anyway, let's get a hangout soon with you, me, and CG. Yeah, we definitely got to get that together. Just let me know. And yeah, we can definitely hang out, talk about the Niners and Seahawks. TJ Watt is saying he deserves like 94 mil. Yeah, when you're up for your contract, as long as you keep balling out, you would definitely be one of the highest paid edge rushers for sure. Let's see. Jay says at TJ, oh, but if you change your mind, come to the Niners. We have Kyle Shanahan. We have one of the best defenses in the NFL. That's funny. Yeah, I think TJ Watt gonna be a Steeler for a long time, especially if he keep balling out. He had an excellent year last year, so yeah, I'd be surprised if TJ leaves the Steelers. Let's see. We can definitely do that, Sam Dog. We could talk about football talk in general, all across the NFL, NFC West, and of course our team. So I'm definitely down with that. So my number 4 takeaway from the 49ers State of the Franchise was that the 49er fans will be allowed in Levi Stadium, 100% capacity. That's dope. Wish I could go to a game this year, but that's good because I feel like the players, the coaches, they feed off of the energy from the crowd. And Lynch and Shanahan were talking about that, how it was just a weird year last year where they were basically looking at cardboard cutouts in the stands, and it was definitely a weird year. Also, there's going to be a lot of giveaways at the home games. Jed York was talking about that. Definitely a lot of giveaways at the home games, and it's a perfect time for the fans to come back. Not only are we celebrating the 75th anniversary of the franchise in existence, but also we'll be celebrating a few players that will be inducted into the 49ers Hall of Fame. So there'll definitely be a lot of festivities. Hopefully the 49ers Museum opens. I know it's been closed basically for the last year and a half due to COVID, but hopefully the 49ers Museum opens as well. I think that would definitely be fun to visit. But yeah, that's my number 4 takeaway. Fans in attendance at Levi's, 100% capacity. And I believe that the entire NFL has 100% capacity at all stadiums this year. So that's definitely great to see. Hopefully everyone stays safe. And of course, there'll be the giveaways at home games and plus the 75th anniversary celebration. And that was my number 4 takeaway. Let's see. Jay says in reference to TJ Watt, both of you are one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. I think you're talking about TJ and JJ. I see you. Yeah, we'll see what JJ does. JJ Watt, I don't think he's no longer a defensive player of the year player anymore, but I think he can definitely still cause problems for the interior of an offensive line. I think so. And we'll see JJ Watt 2 times this year. So that'll definitely be a challenge for the interior of our offensive line. OYG Sakona, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Glad you could come through. He says, what's good? I swear Pat Willis looks like he can still play if we bring him back just this once. Yeah, I know, right? His feet should be all healed now. Pat Willis, he can still come play. Yeah, I mean, but he had an excellent career in red and gold. I'm glad he's getting his flowers now. Definitely well deserved. Pat Willis and John Taylor. I didn't see John Taylor play live. I saw him in highlights, but he looked like an excellent receiver. And we're definitely going to talk about those 2 players in a little bit. Jay says the uniforms are fire. I agree. I definitely can't wait. Until they play in the home red against the Packers Sunday Night Football prime time. Definitely looking forward to that. Those 75 patches on the jerseys are sick. I heard the jerseys went on sale today. So if you guys get one, yeah, let me know. And let me know which jersey you got. That is pretty unique, TJ Watt. You know, that it's you and your two brothers are in the NFL. That is pretty unique. Luke Luna says Kittle going to eat with that crowd there. He loves crowd interaction. Yeah, I mean the players feed off of it. You know, it gives them energy. You know, if there's a big hit, you hear the crowd say "ooh," or you know, if there's a touchdown, you know, everyone's very excited. Everyone's having a ball. So that's definitely something that was missing last year, and now the fans will be back. I can't wait for that first preseason game. I believe the second week of August, maybe the third week of August. I think it's the second week of August, and the fans will be back in the stadium for the first time in over more than a year. So definitely exciting stuff. The Niner faithful says, I saw that CBS has us at the 16th best roster, and they had the Broncos ahead of us. That's funny. I mean, I know the Broncos, they got two pretty good edge rushers, Von Miller and Chubb, but well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see who has the better record at the end of the year. I think the Niners will. Yeah, that's an interesting list. I'd have to see it to see because basically they're saying we're an average team, but yeah, I don't agree with that. I agree, Jay. I don't agree with that CBS Sports Report. And so if we go to my number 3 takeaway, and that is the Hall of Fame inductees, Pat Willis and John Taylor. Now I'm too young to see John Taylor play, but you know, one of his most memorable moments in red and gold happened against the division rival LA Rams in one game. I believe this was a Monday night game. He had 2 plus 90-yard touchdown catches, and that's definitely one of his most finest memories. And it's definitely great that John Taylor will be inducted into the 49ers Hall of Fame. He was interviewed during the State of the Franchise, and he just said he was honored and grateful to be inducted. He should have been inducted in a long time ago, but you know, at least he's still able to receive his flowers. And you know, John Taylor, he was a 2-time Pro Bowler. He played in 121 career games, 3-time Super Bowl champ, and he was on the all 1980s team. So hell of a player. I wish I could have seen him, but from the highlights I see, he was a damn good player. And of course, Pat Willis. I saw Pat Willis play his entire career. You know, he played in 112 career games, 7-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All Pro. He's on the Hall of Fame 2010s team. You know, drafted by the Niners 2007, played until 2014. And it's definitely great to see that he's in the 49ers Hall of Fame. And Pat Willis, I definitely think he should get some consideration to get into Canton, Ohio, you know, in the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame. Um, you know, I know the knock on him is he didn't play that many seasons. He played 7 years. But as I said before, there have been players who have played less or about that, and they're in the Hall of Fame. And there's no doubt Pat Willis was definitely one of the best, if not the best middle linebacker playing in his era. That's a debate, but I definitely think he's one of the best middle linebackers to play in his era between 2007 and 2014. And it was definitely good to see both players getting interviewed, and they both pretty much said that they were humbled. And you know, and it's a great honor to be into the Hall of Fame. Going back to these comments, let's see where that left off. Let's see. TJ Watt says his friend is a 49ers fan. He says he's an expert. Okay. Um, 49er Faithful says we faced the Chargers, Chiefs, and Raiders in preseason. Yeah, we're playing the good old AFC West. And I'm definitely excited for those preseason games. And normally I wouldn't be excited. I don't know about you guys, Faithful, but normally I would not be excited for preseason games. But you know, last year it was a weird year. You know, no OTAs, no mini camp, no training camp, no preseason. Also, we have all this talent, you know, on the all this new rookie talent that we're having on the team. Lynch did an excellent job. Of course, drafting our future franchise quarterback, Trey Lance, adding depth among the offensive line with two players, Aaron Banks, and also another offensive lineman. Also adding talent in the secondary with two corners, Lenore, Ambry Thomas, and then also the safety Hufunga. We definitely needed, more talent, more young talent in that secondary. Lynch did an excellent job at that. And also, I was surprised we got a running back so high, but good thing we did, especially with the injury to Jeff Wilson Jr. And I'm so excited to see that young talent, because that young talent is the future of the team. Let's face it. In our secondary, Jaquiski Tart, he's a projected starter. He's on a 1-year deal. Jimmy Ward, I think he might have 1 or 2 years left on his contract. Verrett and K'Wan Williams are on a 1-year deals. Emmanuel Mosley's on a 2-year deal. And a lot of the guys that we signed on 1-year deals, they had to take 1-year deals because, the salary cap wasn't projected as it was supposed to be. It was much less than what it was supposed to be due to the pandemic. So the salary cap is expected to be increased next year, and a lot of guys will be getting, long-term extensions. I would just be surprised if we bring back, all the veteran guys. So hopefully our young corners get some playing time. They're definitely going to need it. They could be starting corners next year. And I'm just excited to see the young talent. I'm just excited to see the young talent on the field in the preseason, especially, of course, I'm excited to see Trey Lance. I want to see how, this Niners offense operates under Trey Lance. Will the playbook be wide open? Because they say it's this wide when Jimmy G is back there. So, I want to see Trey Lance. I know he looked good. He be looking to the right and looking to the left. I know he looks good throwing against air, but let's see what Trey Lance does against the NFL defense. And I can't wait to see it in preseason. And I think Trey Sermon, he could be second in carries behind Raheem Mostert. We'll see. Shanahan loves to use multiple running backs, on the field. And Trey Sermon could play a large role, in the productivity of this offense. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I was surprised we drafted him that high because I thought our running back room was pretty stout. But all it takes is 1 or 2 injuries, and you're looking for running backs. Looks like Jay says he thinks Levi Stadium will check your temp if you want to get tested instead of taking vaccine. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure about that policy. I don't know about you, Jay, but I know a lot of people are vaccinated. And that'll be interesting. I don't know what the stadium policy will be. Will they check your temperature before you go into the game? I don't know if they can legally ask you if you're vaccinated. So that's an interesting question. I would have to read up on that. I'm not sure how that process will be. And Jay says, yeah, he's not sure either. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, if they're saying, if things are opened up in California how they are now, and there are not many restrictions now in California. I think this is obviously a great thing with the vaccine coming out. I believe the only time you have to wear a mask indoors is hospitals, public transportation, and I think schools. And then businesses have the opportunity if they want to say, for instance, let's just say Safeway. If they say, oh, well, all our employees and customers have to wear a mask, then I think it's up to the business. But I don't know if they necessarily can enforce it. I'm not sure. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see what the Niners policy will be. But I would imagine a lot of people are vaccinated. So let's see. Stud, thanks for coming through to the stream. What's good? I like your avatar, by the way. Lloyd Christmas. Stud says, today was the first time I heard John Taylor speak, and I was a fan of his back then. All right. Yeah, I wish I could have saw him play. He came before my time, but he definitely had an excellent a career with the 49ers, and it's good to see that he's being enshrined into the 49er Hall of Fame. I know you're looking forward to that, TB. That's right. 49ers versus Raiders preseason. I'm definitely looking forward to this preseason game. You know, that unfortunately it's no longer a Bay Area rivalry, but I can remember when I was in high school, whenever the 49ers and Raiders would play, it was always like a big deal. You know, it's like the crosstown rivalry. But I'm definitely looking forward to going out to Sin City, going out to Vegas to watch the 49ers play the Raiders. Hopefully it'll be coming sooner than later, maybe next year or the year after that. Because I'm trying to remember when was the last time they played in the regular season. It was probably like a year or two ago, most likely at Levi's. But yeah, hopefully the Niners can go out to Sin City. That would definitely be a fun trip, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Looks like Jay says John Taylor caught the game-winning catch from Joe Cool versus the Bengals, the game-winning TD catch. Yeah, that was a play in the Super Bowl. Yeah, yeah. Taylor was balling out. You know, Taylor, Rice, Dwight Clark, Roger Craig. You know, excellent players. That's another player who Roger Craig. When I hear older 49ers speak, they say, hey, you know, Roger Craig should be in the Hall of Fame. You know, I looked at Roger Craig's stats. And Roger Craig played in 165 career games. He was most known as a dual threat running back. You know, he could run the ball with the best of them. He could catch the ball. And, you know, he was a 4-time Pro Bowler in his career, 1-time All Pro, 3-time Super Bowl champ. So there's no doubt Roger Craig was definitely one of the best running backs in his era. You know, he had about 1,900 career carries, 8,189 rushing yards, 56 touchdowns. And like I said before, he was a dual threat. He could do it all. He had 566 catches, 4,911 receiving yards, and he has about total 13,000 all-purpose yards. Now, when you look at his stats today with the other running backs, yeah, it's not, you know, he's not even the top 20. Excuse me, he's not even in the top 20 in career rushing yards. But obviously, you know, running backs today obviously get more carries and things like that. And running backs are playing probably longer today than they were back then, I would say, maybe. But you know, it sucks because he definitely should have got consideration, you know, when he retired. But now it seems like it's too little, too late. Because if you look his stats right now, they don't really compare to today's, you know, to today's running backs, unfortunately. But he was definitely an excellent running back in his time. Like he was his best asset was he was a dual threat. He could run, he could catch, he could do it all. So unfortunately, he's not in the Hall of Fame. Let's see. 49er Faithful says, I won't be surprised if Chris Sims put us at 16th because he's been hating on the Niners ever since he was wrong about us drafting Mac Jones. Yeah, there was a lot of you know, a lot of commentators who thought we would get Mac Jones, and they're definitely bitter about that decision. But there really were no sources. There really were no sources within the 49ers that gave any indication that Mac Jones was, you know, ahead of Justin Fields or Trey Lance. So I think it was someone wanted to get the hot story, and the hot story was, well, you know, who's the closest quarterback to Kirk Cousins? And they figured, oh well, it's Mac Jones, so let's just go with Mac Jones. And you know, Shanahan never gave any indication that, you know, Mac Jones would be the no doubt pick. You know, but you know, they got to. It's funny you mentioned that because you know Chris Sims has been hating Mike Florio, but you know, haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate, man. It's like Jay says he played 8 years. Think might be talking about Patrick Willis. Okay, it's 7 or 8. Yeah, 8 years. TJ Watt says next year's QB draft class is stacked. I know your Steelers would definitely be most likely looking for a QB for sure. Looks like Stud says some Niner fans actually like John Taylor more than Rice. That's how good he was. Wow. I mean, because Jerry Rice is considered the GOAT, so that's good to hear that John Taylor, you know. Let's see. TJ Watt says hopefully the Steelers can get a good QB next year. Definitely, yeah. I think it's time to move on from Big Ben. Jay says Chris Sims is an idiot. He's so mad we did not draft Mac Jones. Yeah, he was mad that he was wrong, you know, because he really had no sources. But you know, I'm glad we went with Trey Lance. That's for sure. TJ Watt says Mac is underrated. watch him all out for the Patriots. Yeah, that'll be an interesting camp battle between Cam Newton and Mac Jones. But I think Cam Newton should win that. I think so. And Cam Newton, he'll probably keep the job as long as the team is winning. But if the team is losing, they're under 500, then I can see them going with Mac Jones, see what they have. And the young QB. Niner Faithful says, I remember John Taylor said he made Jay Rice look good on the field. Wow. I never heard that quote. Wow. And Jay says, this is Big Ben's last year in the NFL. Most likely. Yeah. I mean, the team was good last year, right? They started off, I think, 11-0. The Steelers did last year. Big Ben was solid. The running game was looking good. But then once they started getting injuries, like Bud Dupree had that torn ACL, and the offensive line for some reason, just the running game couldn't get going, and that really put a lot of pressure on Big Ben, and he can't carry a team anymore. Also, they don't have AB. They didn't have Le'Veon Bell no more, so that's definitely a problem. KD says, if Jimmy G is balling out, do you think the 49ers trade him before the trade deadline ends? Nah, I don't see that. So if let's say by week 7, Jimmy G has a stat line of, let's say, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Nah, no way. I don't think they trade Jimmy G. I don't see that happening. If Jimmy G is playing well, the team is winning, I think you stick with Jimmy G. I don't think you mess that up by putting in Trey Lance. The only way I see Trey Lance starting meaningful games if Jimmy G gets hurt multiple games, or if Jimmy G isn't playing well. But this is Jimmy G's future. His future is on the line this year. There's no doubt about that. He does have 2 years left on his contract, but none of the money is guaranteed. So the 49ers can't cut him and won't have to owe him but like less than $2 million. But if Jimmy G didn't have value, I don't think he'd be on this team. I think they would have cut him a long time ago. But yeah, I think if Jimmy G's balling out, he stays with the team the entire year, and then he gets traded in the offseason. That's what I think. It's like Stud says, I heard it's easy to make fake vaccination cards. It's going to be hard to regulate that. Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do at the Levi Stadium. I'm not sure, because since everything is open now, will they even require masks? Because technically you're outdoors, so they might not even require masks at the stadium since you'll be outdoors. But yeah, that's interesting. And I appreciate you, Stud, you coming through to the stream. First time I've seen you on. I appreciate everyone hitting that thumbs up button if you're enjoying the stream right now. Shout out to everyone watching on that good old Spotlight Sports Network. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button over there as well. And I appreciate everyone coming through, enjoying the stream. Let YouTube know you enjoying the stream by hitting that thumbs up button. I appreciate you. It's like Jay says, I don't think they can ask you. I don't know if you had the vaccine. I don't think they're allowed to force you. Yeah, no, you're right. I don't think they can legally ask you if you've taken the vaccine. And no, they can't force you to take it either. So that is correct. See, TJ Watt says, I'm not a Haskins believer. Yeah, he definitely did not have a good first impression with the Washington football team. But maybe he makes the best out of his opportunity now with the Steelers. This is a second chance at possibly he could be the starting quarterback for the Steelers in the future. He learns from Big Ben. He humbles himself. But let's see if he makes the most out of that opportunity. Niner Fable says, maybe you guys can trade for Aaron Rodgers. And I think he's talking about the Steelers. Yeah, it seems like the Packers are hell-bent on not trading Rodgers. It doesn't seem like, they're interested in doing that at all. And I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers sits out. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he sits out the season. Let's see. Jay says, TJ Watt, this is Big Ben last year in the NFL. Who do you think will replace him? Great question for TJ Watt. David Yang, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How your week going? Hopefully you have a good 4th of July weekend, man. David says, we're not trading Jimmy this year unless someone offers a first. Do you really want Rosen or Sudfeld as a backup if Trey gets hurt? Yeah. I don't think there's any way a team offers a first this year for Jimmy unless a quarterback gets hurt. Like, let's say let's say if Rodgers, nah, that's not good because they can go with the quarterback. Let's say if I don't know the Falcons. Let's say with Falcons with Matt Ryan. Let's say he gets hurt, and the Falcons really think they could be a playoff team this year, and they offer first for Jimmy. Like crazy scenario, but I don't think the Niners trade Jimmy because I don't think Trey Lance is ready. We really don't know if Trey Lance is ready to start at quarterback. We know what Jimmy brings us. We know what Jimmy can do when healthy. We have no idea what Trey Lance does. And if Rosen or Sudfeld are starting games, I think the season's definitely over. But yeah, I don't see the Niners trading Jimmy G. I don't think I don't think a team would offer a first round pick right now. Jimmy G's value is not high right now. I think his value will be much higher if he plays this season. He proves he can be healthy and he leads the Niners to a long playoff run. Then Jimmy G's value will be much higher for sure. Roberto Haskins, what's good? How you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in to the stream. It's like TJ Watt says, I think he says he thinks his Steelers are going to draft a QB in the first. Yeah, I definitely think so. That seems to be the next player in line. I mean, unless you sold on Mason Rudolph. I don't know, man. You sold on Mason Rudolph? Let's see. David says at TJ Watt, but y'all got Haskins on the low. Yeah. That was a low risk, potential high reward if Haskins can make the most out of his opportunity. Looks like Stud says, I remember Roger Craig's huge eyes while high stepping while running. Yeah, I heard he had that high stepping style when he ran the ball, and that's usually a style you don't really see nowadays because you usually want to protect, your chest. So that's why you get low to the ground. But yeah, I wish I could have saw Roger Craig when he played and John Taylor and those guys. Let's see. David Yang says Big Ben has the same that Carson Palmer has. Some great throws and some ducks. Arm is becoming inconsistent. Yeah. Now I would agree. He's no longer Big Ben. He's no longer in the prime of his career. His best days are definitely behind him. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers are looking for a quarterback, in the first round next year. Jay says Aaron Rodgers might opt out tomorrow. Who knows? Let's see what he does. Yeah, I think because players can technically opt out if they want to, I believe, if they're concerned about COVID. So I believe tomorrow, as Jay says, is the deadline to opt out. And I believe Aaron Rodgers can opt out and he would save some of his money. Maybe someone else can let me know in the chat. I heard about that. But yeah, that is an option for Aaron Rodgers. He could just opt out for the season. It's like David says, I hope Rodgers opts out. The Pack Tards don't deserve him. Oh man. Yeah, obviously we play the Packers on Sunday Night Football prime time. That's the 49ers home opener. And it would be nice to see Aaron Rodgers just from like a football, perspective because he's an excellent quarterback. Obviously, the Niners will probably have a better chance to win the game if Rodgers doesn't play. But I think we can win the game if Rodgers is playing. It'll definitely be a tougher matchup, though. That's for sure. Let's see. Jay says, I was about to write saying, I am a Packers fan now, but just kidding. Niners for life. Always will stick with my team. Exactly. I'm the same way. Always will stick with my team. The Sports Scoop. What's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. How you doing today? We're just talking about some good old Niners, good old red and gold, man. Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Niner Faithful says, I remember the day before the draft, Chris Way saying, oh, I know my friend, and Mac will be Kyle's pick. Clearly, you don't know your friend. Man. Yeah, because Chris Sims and Kyle Shanahan, they went to the University of Texas together. They're best friends, but, some things you got to keep close to the vest. And obviously, Kyle Shanahan is not going to tell, Chris Sims, all his thoughts. So Travis Berg says, don't forget to like the stream, guys. It helps a lot. Yeah, I appreciate you. Appreciate everyone. If you're enjoying the stream, go ahead, hit that like button. I appreciate that thumbs up button. And I appreciate you. It's Kim. What's good? appreciate you coming through to the stream. First time I seen you on here. Hopefully you enjoy the stream. We just talking about that red and gold. And Jay says, let's get to 22. All right. Maybe you're talking about likes. Let's see. David says, Chris will be back on his buddies. That's when we start winning. Don't trip. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these commentators, you know, they have to have something to say every time they're on. And, some things they say are to not controversy, but just they have to have something to say that people will talk about. So they have to be, forgetting the word, but basically they have to be kind of pulverizing, I guess you could say. They have to be, they have to make statements that people will talk about. So that may not always be 100% true. It may not be factual, but they always have to have something to say. And it's great when people are talking about you. So let's see. TJ Watt says, what's the 49ers top 2 biggest position needs right now? That's an excellent question, TJ. I mean, I know I'm beating a dead horse, but I think it's wide receiver. I know the 49ers believe in, Jalen Hurd, Juwan Jennings, Richie James, Austin Walters, undrafted. Still got Muhammad Sanu, Travis Benjamin, Trent Sherfield. I don't know how much he'll provide at that wide receiver position. He might be a special teams guy, but I think that could be, if Debo, Ayuk, and Kittle start every game this year, I think the offense will be in excellent shape. But you can imagine if one of those players gets hurt, I think the offense could be in trouble. So I think that's why we could get a tight end like Zach Ertz to pair with George Kittle, or we could get another wide receiver to pair up with the wide receivers we currently have. So I think wide receiver, tight end could be the biggest position needs on offense. On defense, I think we're pretty good. Maybe a corner, but I don't think there are any corners now who would make us better unless we got like a Stephon Gilmore. But yeah, on offense, I would say wide receiver, tight end. And then on defense, I think on defense, we're pretty good. Unless we want to get like a Stephon Gilmore type. David Yang says, TJ Watt, David Yang says, in reference to our needs, would be corner depth and wide receiver 3. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a lot of uncertainty at the wide receiver 3 position. I don't think, Kendrick Bourne, I'm happy for him. I'm happy that Kendrick Bourne got his contract extension. I believe he caught 45 plus balls last year for us, Kendrick Bourne. So who's going to replace Kendrick Bourne's production at that wide receiver 3 position? That's definitely a concern of mine. There are names on the roster, but they haven't proven that they could at least be like Kendrick Bourne, right? They haven't proven that. We haven't seen it. Juwan Jennings hurt last year. Kendrick Bourne, Jalen Hurd hurt the last 2 years. And Richie James, he just has, I don't know about you guys, Faithful, but Richie James, he just hasn't shown he could be a difference maker when he's on the field. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying, David. TJ Watt, he says Aaron Rodgers would put us like minus 24 million under the salary cap. Yeah, the Steelers, I don't think they can pull off that trade. Tommy Huxley, what's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Let's see. Travis Berg says, if the 49ers go 10-0 in the first 10 games, I'll fly out there and take you to a game if my lawsuit is settled by then. Okay. Now, speaking of the 49ers schedule, let's look at the schedule real quick. Let's see. So I think we'll definitely beat the Lions. We should beat the Eagles. I think we'll beat the Packers. And then we got three. The next 3 games are pretty tough. Home against Seattle, at Arizona, home against Indy. Those are 3 tough games. I'd be surprised if we won all 3 of those games. Then at Chi-Town, Chicago Bears, home against the Arizona Cardinals, home against the Rams, at Jags. I think that's the first 10 games. Let's see. Yeah, so that's the first 10 games. I'd be surprised, and I'm as optimistic as any Niner fan, but I'd be surprised if we go 10-0 in the first 10 games. But that would be nice though, right? I'd be surprised though. Let's see. I gotta continue on with these comments. Moneybag 729. What's good? You must be watching on that good old Spotlight Sports Network. He says, "Hey, what happened to the other guy? If you're referring to Darian, that good old Las Vegas Raiders fan, yeah, he's still on here. But with the Spotlight Sports Network, I'm bringing the red and gold, the 49ers talk. So I appreciate you coming through. Check us out. You might like." And Travis Berg says, "And it won't be nosebleed seats." All right. It's like Stud says, Virus got your keyboard. Oh man. David Yang says every Niner fan right now acts like Trey is invincible, like he can't get hurt. The NFL is 100% injury league. If Jimmy gets beat out, you keep him because you don't skip a beat when and if Trey gets hurt. Yeah, I would just be surprised if Trey Lance beat out Jimmy in camp. I'd just be surprised by that. I mean, there's definitely a wow factor with Trey Lance, no doubt. It's definitely he brings more to the offense. He's probably be more exciting than Jimmy, but that doesn't necessarily win you games. I'm more content with what I know, and I know when Jimmy is healthy, he puts his team in position to win. I have no idea what Trey Lance can do in this offense because he's inexperienced. He hasn't played at the NFL level, but I'm definitely intrigued to see the outcome of the camp battle between Jimmy and Trey. And yeah, may the best man win. And if Trey won the camp battle, I would be surprised if Jimmy is traded. Unless the team was offering a first or second round pick. But even then, I mean, if Trey gets a starting job, you trade Jimmy, then we're really looking forward to basically if the backup quarterback starts, we'll be in trouble. If Sudfeld or Rosen start multiple games, we'll be in trouble. And I think you might as well keep Jimmy unless you can trade him for a high pick. But I don't think Trey beats out Jimmy. I just don't see it. Luke says, we win over the Packers either way. I'd rather have them have hope than we shatter it. No, I dig it. Yeah, I think we'll beat the Packers for sure. Oh man, yeah. The Cardinals Nation is not here tonight, but they are welcome. As I welcome all fans across the NFL. You guys are all welcome as long as you keep it respectful. Let's see. Jay says Chris Sims acted like he knows what Kyle does, like he's a wizard. Yeah, he acts like he can read Kyle's mind or something. So 49ers Ultimate Report. What's good? Thanks for stopping by, coming through to the stream, man. He says, just wanted to stop by. Sup, man? You are one sub away from 800. Can't wait for the day I hit 800 like you. Yeah, you definitely will get there, man. Just keep putting out that content. You'll definitely get to that 800. Let's see. Tommy says Watkins, not Walters. Yeah. My mistake. Austin Watkins, the undrafted wide receiver. Let's see. 49ers Ultimate Report says at Stud just made you to 800 sub. You're a bit closer to 1K. All right, cool, man. Appreciate it. Let's see. I think Stud subscribed to 49ers Ultimate Report. That's dope. 49ers Ultimate Report puts out excellent content. Excellent 49er content creator. And TJ Watt says, hopefully a Steelers versus Niners games can happen maybe in a few years. I'd definitely be looking forward to that. And then we would definitely talk about that. Tommy says, yeah, no Raider fans allowed in the real Bay Area team chat. Man, as I told you, Tommy, all fans are welcome. As long as you keep it respectful, man. I don't mind at all. And looks like Travis Berg is sitting in 49ers Ultimate Report some love. He says he just subbed to you, man. That's good, man. But as I was talking about, the 49ers state of the franchise, there were 5 takeaways I have from that. And if you guys are watching now, go ahead and leave your number one takeaway in the chat that you learned from the 49ers state of the franchise. I'll recap mine a little bit. So the number 5 was the 49ers fans will be allowed at the training camp practice. And the training camp practice will be at Levi Stadium. So that will be pretty neat. My number 4 takeaway was the fans, they're 100% capacity fans in attendance at Levi's. There'll also be several giveaways at home games. And of course, we're celebrating the 75th anniversary of the team all year. So that's very exciting. Also touched on number 3 was the Hall of Fame inductees, John Taylor and Pat Willis. Definitely good to see those 2 guys get enshrined. Definitely well deserved. And my number 2 takeaway from the state of the franchise was the 49ers franchise is in excellent hands. And, there were definitely some dark years with the 49ers, especially after Harbaugh was, fired from the team. There was Tom Sula, Chip Kelly, and, Trent Baalke was still the GM. So there were definitely some lean years with the 49ers. I can definitely remember empty stadiums after Harbaugh was fired. The team just was in disarray. The management was in disarray. And Jed York made a great decision in stepping away from the team as far as being involved in the day-to-day. I think it's smart that Jed York said, hey, I'm going to sign the checks. I'm going to put people in positions to succeed. And I think that has definitely worked out by bringing in John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. And the 49ers franchise is in great hands from a leadership standpoint, from the GM, the head coach. And also, we have a plethora of young talent. Of course, drafting Trey Lance, bringing in, Trey Sermon, bringing in multiple offensive linemen, Fred Warner, George Kittle, Nick Bosa. The future is very bright for the 49ers. And the franchise can be a winning franchise for years to come. And that was my number 2 takeaway from the 49ers state of the franchise. Let's see. Jay says he has to go, but he'll see me on the next stream. I appreciate you coming through, Jay. I appreciate you conversing with me throughout the entire stream. I love interacting with you. So I'll see you on the next one, man. I appreciate you. Just like Jay says, bring back Eddie D. Yeah. That would be nice. But I heard, I think Eddie DeBarlo, if he wants, he can purchase a NFL franchise. That's what I've heard. But seems like, that won't be happening anytime soon. But at least the Yorks are still, they still own the team. And, I think they've put us in good position lately to have a winner consistently. Let's see. Let's go to, 49ers Ultimate Report. He says, I had a Patrick Willis jersey that had to sell when I was out of work. Didn't want to sell it, but I sacrificed to get extra money in 2020. Yeah, I mean, 2020 was definitely, a trying year, for basically for the entire country. And, you had to do what you had to do, to make ends meet. So I definitely respect you for that, John Jay. So you had to do what you had to do. But yeah, maybe you can treat yourself to getting some, new gear this year, especially with that 75th anniversary patch. I definitely got to shell out some money for a jersey. They're not too bad. I looked on the website. I think they're under 200, which is kind of surprising. I think they're starting at like 140. You get the patch. Part of me, honestly, like I don't even want to wear it. That might sound weird, but like if I get the jersey, I don't even want to wear it. I just want to like put it up on the wall, But yeah, you got to do what you had to do. 49ers Ultimate Report. I appreciate you staying longer. Yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate you staying longer. And going back to my 549er takeaway. So the number 1 takeaway, it was, of course, something that everyone was talking about. There was definitely buzz around this topic for the state of the franchise. People were like, are they going to bring them back? Are they not? Yay or nay? And I think this was definitely the perfect time to bring this back into existence. And that was the 49er 94 red and white throwbacks. I think that was definitely a excellent move to bring these jerseys back. They're definitely one of the nicest jerseys I've seen. And it was good to see the 49ers players. You know, they had, I think, Kittle was there. Jerry Rice was there. You know, they had on the full uniform in the new jersey. So that was definitely pretty cool to see. And I think it's pretty unanimous that that a lot of the 49er fans like the jerseys. And we saw the white jerseys in the 2019 season, I believe, the away jerseys, but now we're going to have both jerseys. So that's pretty cool. And you know, I might have to shell out some money to get me one of those 94 jerseys. And so those jerseys, they will be debuted in, I believe, 6 primetime games for the 49ers. I'm just looking up when they are. Let's see. So, yeah, so the 4 home games where the red 94 jerseys will be worn, of course, by the Niners, will be week 3 versus the Packers, Sunday Night Football, prime time. Also, week 7 versus the Colts. That's also, I believe that's also a Sunday night primetime game. Week 10 versus the Rams, primetime game. Week 15 versus them good old ATL Falcons. And they also wear the road whites week 13 at Seattle and week 16 at Tennessee. And 5 of those 6 games are primetime matchups, the exception being the good old Atlanta Falcons. So I definitely can't wait to see them in those jerseys, those uniforms. Hopefully we can go, 6-0 in those games in the unis. That would be nice to see. But yeah, what was you guys' reaction with the unveiling of the 94 jerseys that would be played in at 4 home games and 2 away games? Let me know in the comments section. Looks like Tommy says, did anyone get a $600 stimulus today? No, I did not. Let's see. Corey Davis says, hit up Niner Sickness for jerseys. Yeah, he definitely makes jerseys, Niner Sickness. And shout out Niner Sickness. That he has an excellent YouTube channel, puts out Niner content. And he also makes jerseys, so he does an excellent job at that. 49ers First Take says, I want a Kittle and Warner waiting on his contract. I definitely respect that. Yeah, Kittle and Warner definitely would be nice jerseys to have. They're definitely going to be with the team for years to come. And yeah, there are also some other things that I learned from the State of the Franchise. Now, Fred Warner and George Kittle were interviewed together, and I thought that was interesting. Obviously, you could argue Fred Warner, he's the best defensive player on the team, him and Bosa. And then offensively, I think there's no doubt that George Kittle, he's the heart and soul of the offense. He is the best player on the team. Both of these players were not first-round draft picks. They were day 2 picks. Kittle was a 5th round. Warner was a 3rd round. And they're definitely the best players on the team. And, they are arguably George Kittle, I would say he's probably the best overall tight end as far as blocking and receiving. But some would say, he's arguably a top 3 best tight end in the NFL. Some would put Kelsey, Waller, and Kittle all in the same mix. And I respect that. They're definitely Kittle and Waller Kelsey and Waller are definitely talented. They've definitely been, setting the league on fire at the tight end position. And George Kittle is right there, if not better. So you have 2 players at the top of their game. And they should be with the 49ers franchise for a very long time. And a question was asked to Kittle about his different training habits this year. And Kittle said he was going to focus on getting stronger, in his feet, in his mobility. And I know there's definitely been speculation about the players, about, whether they work out too much or, could that lead to injuries? But I feel like in order to get ready for football, you got to work out. Who knows if what they're doing is too much, what they're doing isn't enough. We really don't know if that leads to injuries. I think the players know their bodies best. And if not, I'm sure the 49ers are, helping players manage their bodies. But that's one of the things that Kittle was working on, getting stronger. And Fred Warner, he was asked a question about the fans. And of course, as I mentioned before, the fans feed off of the energy, the players feed off of the energy of the fans, the crowd. And that's definitely one thing that Fred mentioned. He's definitely looking forward to the crowd being back at Levi Stadium, the faithful, the Niner Empire. The players are definitely looking forward to the fans being back at the stadium. They thrive off that energy. And Fred was asked a question about the defense. Obviously Robert Saleh is no longer the defensive coordinator. Hopefully he does well as a New York Jets head coach. And, Fred Warner was saying that the defense does have something to prove. There are a few new pieces on the defense. And, I'm eager to see, how they can get better under DeMeco Ryans. There's no doubt DeMeco Ryans, was a hell of a player in college at Alabama, hell of a player in the NFL with the Texans and the Eagles. He definitely played the middle linebacker position at a high level. But I think there will be, maybe a learning curve at the defensive coordinator position. There's no doubt he knows the scheme. I think he's going to put our players in the best position to win, on every play. But he's never called plays before. So I think, Robert Saleh, obviously he had experience with that. And it takes time to know, hey, what should I call on 3rd and 2? What should I call on, 3rd and 12? Should I blitz? Should I play zone? Should I play man? I think with that, it'll take time. And how will he make adjustments on the fly? How will he adjust at halftime? That's something that I'm looking forward to seeing from DeMeco. But it's no doubt DeMeco has the respect of the players. They respect him being a former player. They also respect him because he knows the scheme. And yeah, I'm happy to see DeMeco was elevated to that position, defensive coordinator. And I'm eager to see how he progresses as a defensive coordinator for the Niners. And Fred said that the defense's goal is to be the number one defense in the NFL. And I think that definitely can be achieved for sure. George Kittle was asked about the offense last year, and he mentioned that George Kittle did mention that there were just so many injuries last year. It was hard to get a good rhythm, within the offense. Every week, someone got hurt. And there's a lot of talent on this offense. Lynch and Shanahan did an excellent job of adding talent to the offensive side of the ball. And I can't wait to see this talent in the preseason and the regular season. Let's see. 49ers Ultimate Report. He says, just saw the Bryant Young 94 red throwback jersey with a 75 patch for 140. When I get first check from job, I will buy it. Yeah. I mean, those aren't too bad. I mean, 140, that's not too bad. I'm definitely going to have to get one, because this is a unique year, 75 years, 49ers, have been in existence. And yeah, I think that's reasonable, I'm not sure what jersey I'm going to get, but that Brian Young 94 is definitely going to look slick, man, for sure. It's like Tommy says, 49ers first take. I tried to watch your stream when I was running and not sure why my internet wasn't working. Yeah, I think First Take said that there was an issue with his stream. So, but he said he's going to try to get the same guy he had on. They're going to try to do it again. I think that's what he was saying. It's like Tommy says, Jay, did you see where CBS rated our roster? Absolutely ridiculous. Number 15 in the league. Yeah, I heard about that. I think Jay mentioned that earlier, and that's interesting. I want to look up to see who they have before us. Let's see, CBS rates NFL roster. Yeah, let's see. Let's see who's before us. So let's see. The Niners are ranked 16th. So CBS, they say the 49ers are preparing for a quarterback change, but the timetable for that is still being established. Jimmy G or Trey Lance have a great offensive line to work behind, a reliable tight end in George Kittle, and a young and up and coming crop of wide receivers in Brandon Ayuk, Debo, and hopefully a healthy Jalen Hurd. CBS says they're also interested in their running back situation with Raheem Mostert and then rookies Trey Sermon and Elijah Mitchell. The defense has seen some talent leave, but Nick Bosa and Fred Warner still lead a pretty incredible front seven. With that said, I wouldn't anticipate this unit being a top 5 defense again in 2021. Interesting. Okay. So they have, and this is the CBS rated the top 32 NFL rosters, and the 49ers are rated 16. They have the Dolphins rated at 15. It's interesting. Dolphins do have talent. Yeah, the Indianapolis Colts rated at 14. That's interesting. I would think we would be above the Colts, I would say. 13, they have the Denver Broncos. Wow. I mean, the Broncos definitely have talent on both sides of the ball, especially offensively and defensively. They also have talent as well, but I would say we're better than the Broncos off roster. They got the Cowboys at number 12. No doubt, the offense for the Cowboys definitely have weapons. The defense is so. Interesting. They have the Cardinals rated at number 11. Okay, that's interesting. And let's get through the top 10. Let's see. It's like Jay says, CBS are dumbheads. Travis Berg says the Broncos at 13. Yeah, I mean, the Broncos, they have talent, especially offensively. They got Noah Fant, the tight end. They got Jerry Jeudy. They got Cortland Sutton. They got Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler, Seth Williams. Then that's just on the offensive side of the ball. They also have defensive players Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, Pat Surtain, Justin Simmons. The Broncos, they do have talent, and this is rating the best roster, not necessarily the best teams, if that makes sense. So, yeah, the Broncos may have a better roster, but the Niners, I think, will have they'll probably get to the postseason. I don't think the Broncos are a playoff team this year, and the Niners will probably go farther in the playoffs. The 10, they got the Tennessee Titans. Okay. We all know what they did this offseason. Corey Davis, man, I appreciate you coming through, man. Thanks for coming through to the stream. You have a good night. Safe week, man. Number 9, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wow. That's interesting. The Pittsburgh Steelers at number 9. Wow. Number 8, Washington football team. No doubt they have weapons offensively. I don't know about their quarterback. They got Ryan Fitzmagic. And defensively, they definitely have talent, defensive side of the ball. Number 7, the Green Bay Packers. I don't know about that. Number 6, the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, definitely talented. Number 5, the Buffalo Bills. Number 4, the LA Rams. Number 3, the Cleveland Browns. Number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 1, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think we should definitely be in the top 10. I don't see why we're out of the top 10. If I had to take a team out the top 10, I would probably be the Green Bay Packers. I would take them out the top 10. And maybe the Steelers. So if I took the Steelers and the Packers out the top 10, move the Niners at least at number 10, I think that would be doable. But, that's CBS's opinion. It's like Tommy says at Jay, their mock draft was trash too. Oh, man. Jay says CBS Sports are dummies. They need to go back to school. Their mock draft was trash. Oh, man. Hey, that's their opinion. That's their opinion. So, of course, So on the 49ers State of the Franchise, also Al Guido, the president, was interviewed. Jed York was interviewed as well. But Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, of course, were interviewed. And, of course, Kyle Shanahan says that, the team's goal this year is to make it to the Super Bowl, or I should say to win a Super Bowl. And Kyle Shanahan also said that, that 2021 is a normal year for the Niners. And because we have OTAs, we have mini camp, training camp's going to be in July. A lot more players are getting vaccinated. And then, of course, we're going to have preseason. Also, Kyle mentioned that the turnout at the mini camp was great. The players are building rapport with each other, and also there's a camaraderie around the players with the veterans and the rookies. And the 49ers, yeah, everyone came to the OTAs except, I think, Dee Ford. And Dee Ford had been at the facility pretty much since February, and he was just taking some time off. So hopefully Dee Ford can, hopefully we can only hope that Dee Ford will bring, something to the table during the regular season. Hopefully he can be a pass rusher, an edge rusher for the 49ers. I don't expect Dee Ford to be an every down edge rusher anymore. Hopefully he can just be like a third down edge rusher. That's what I'm hoping for. Maybe he'll just play on obvious passing downs. John Lynch was asked. We all know John Lynch is a former player, now GM. He obviously knows about the preseason. And he said specifically about the preseason that the preseason doesn't count, but it definitely matters. Especially when you have young guys, rookies who need to learn the system. They need to learn the speed of the NFL. And also it's important to ramp guys up. Last year, the 49ers and every other team did not have an opportunity to really ramp up. There were no camp, no preseason. And this year, the players will have a chance to ramp up. And also we'll get a chance to see the young players on the team. John Lynch felt that the roster is better this year compared to compared to last year. And he definitely said that there's more depth on the team. That's definitely accurate. In the running back room, the offensive line, the quarterback room was completely changed. And also in defensive line as well. So I think he definitely did an excellent job, John Lynch. Kyle Shanahan was asked about the new talent on the team. Kyle Shanahan said he feels like we can do whatever we want on the field. But there's definitely a mix of unproven players on the Niners. I spoke about this a little bit earlier, but that wide receiver number 3 position is definitely unproven. There's definitely talent there. And with Kendrick Bourne gone, who's going to replace his production from last year? That's definitely a question mark. But we'll find out real soon in training camp and preseason who's going to step up and be that number 3 wide receiver, for the 49ers. Looks like Jay says CBS Sports thought that Trey Lance was going to the Pats. Wow. Let's see. Travis Berg says, what's your favorite quote an NFL player has said? That's interesting. I'm not sure. One of the quotes that first comes to mind is what John Lynch said about the preseason doesn't count, but it matters. And from a fan's point of view, I never liked preseason before this year. It's funny when something's taken away, like last year, there's no preseason. You're like, man, I really just want to watch some football. But especially this year with all the influx of new talent with the Niners, preseason definitely will be important to see Trey Lance, to see the other rookies and how they perform, on the field against the NFL defense. Let's see. 49ers Ultra Report says, Jay, your thoughts on CBS Sports head coaches poll. Do you think Kyle is the 11th best head coach? That's an excellent question, John Jay. I could see how CBS doesn't put him in the top 5 because he's only had one winning season in what this will be his 4th year with the team. 17. Well, technically, this will be his 5th year with the team. So I can see why CBS doesn't put him in the top 5. But I think there's no doubt Kyle Shanahan is one of the best play callers in the NFL, one of the best play designers in the NFL. And if Kyle Shanahan, was no longer the 49ers head coach, he would definitely have a job like in 24 hours. He would have multiple offers to be the new franchise's head coach. There's no doubt about that. But that's the interesting point you bring up. Let's see who the other head coaches CBS put in front of Kyle Shanahan. Let's see. Rank head coaches. Now, yeah, so if they're basing that, of course, off of the success Shanahan has had. He's only had one winning season with the team, so I could see why he's not in the top 5. But as I mentioned before, he's definitely one of the best play callers, play designers. And Travis Berg says, mine was Terrell Owens. That's my quarterback. That's funny. I forgot to mention that, but that is a funny quote when Terrell Owens was talking about Tony Romo. So let's see. As far as the NFL head coaches, that was an excellent question by the 49ers Ultimate Report. Let's see who's ranked ahead of Kyle Shanahan. And let's talk about Kyle Shanahan. So this will be his 5th season with the 49ers as head coach. His career record is 29-35. He has a 2-1 playoff record. And unfortunately, this is part of Shanahan's resume. He's gone 6-10, 4-12, 13-3, and 6-10. So, he has only had one winning season with the 49ers. So at 10, they have CBS ranked Mike Tomlin with the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's no doubt. And this is his 15th year with the Steelers. I mean, from an X's and O's standpoint, I think there's no comparison. I think Kyle Shanahan is better. That I guess team success, you can't really compare the two. Mike Tomlin has been a head coach for 15 years, so it's hard to compare the two. 9, you got Matt LaFleur with the Packers. I mean, he's got a better career record with the Packers. He's 26-6. Number 8, you got Bruce Arians. Yeah, he would be ahead of Shanahan. 7, you got Pete Carroll. Okay. 6, you got Sean McVay. I mean, he does have a better winning percentage. He's 43-21 in his career record with the Rams. 5, Sean McDermott. 4, Sean Payton. Okay. 3, John Harbaugh. 2, Bill Belichick. 1, Andy Reid. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we're talking about just based on statistics among Kyle Shanahan's coaching record right now, yeah, the guys in the top 10, they're better statistically. They have more successful seasons. There's no doubt about that. Now, if all 10 of these, or let's say all 11 head coaches were available, I think Kyle Shanahan would probably get picked in the top 5. Like if all these coaches were available, there's no doubt Kyle Shanahan will be picked in the top 5. Let's see. Jay says maybe we should call a night. It's been 2 hours. I think we almost there. We had an hour and a half, man. But people are still commenting. So let's continue on with these comments. Let's see. Travis says, good answer, Jay. Let's see. Tommy says, CBS said Matt LaFleur was the best play caller. Laughable. Oh, man. Yeah, that's debatable. Now, if they're talking about just statistical record as far as the career record for the head coach, then yeah, that I think that's accurate as far as Kyle Shanahan being 11th. But as far as him being a play caller, play designer, and if all these coaches were available, I think the top 5 will probably be not necessarily in this order, but it definitely be Belichick. It would be Andy Reid. I think you will put probably Sean Payton, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McDermott, Sean McVay, of course, Pete Carroll. Yeah, that's a good top 10 list. That's a good list. But I think Shanahan is right there. If he just had a few more winning seasons, he would definitely probably be in that top 5. Also, a lot of those head coaches, they've been out there, they've been at a head coach for that team for more than a decade. Mike Tomlin, 15 years. He's been with the Steelers. Pete Carroll, 12 years. Let's see. Sean Payton, 16 years. John Harbaugh, 14 years. Bill Belichick, 22 years. Andy Reid, 9 years. So a lot of those coaches have been with their teams much longer. Let's see. Jay says Kyle is a top 5 coach. CBS Sports are dummies. They think they are smart. I mean, if they're basing it just off of the head coaching record, then yeah, you can't put Shanahan in the top 5. I respect that. He's not a top 5 head coach if you're just talking about the record, because unfortunately Shanahan's only had one winning season. But yeah, as far as if he was available, he was a free agent and he could sign with any franchise, then yeah, I think Shanahan would be top 5. So, but yeah, I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate everyone coming through to the stream. And I just wanted to hop on here, talk about the 49ers State of the franchise. I think this franchise is definitely in good hands with the plethora of talent on the roster on both sides of the ball, with the steady leadership from top to bottom with, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. I think they're definitely doing a excellent job. I appreciate everyone leaving a thumbs up for the stream, whether you're watching on Jay in the Bay or if you're watching on that good old Spotlight Sports Network. Let me know if you guys have any other questions, comments. I mean, from now until training camp, might be a little lean in the 49er department. Unless the 49ers sign some free agents, or if there's any trades or any breaking news with the Niners, of course, you can come to Jay in the Bay. And also, but so let me tell you, for the month of July, I'm going to try to have a Rams fan and a Cardinals fan in the month of July sometime, probably before training camp. So within like the next 2 or 3 weeks, I think it's definitely good to hear a perspective of another team within our division. I already got Steezy on here, represents the Seahawks. Excellent live stream we had. If you haven't checked it out, it's on the Jay in the Bay YouTube page. Make sure you check it out. Me and Steezy had an excellent conversation. And then hopefully I can get a Cardinals fan and a Rams fan within the next 2 to 3 weeks. We'll chop it up, talk about the NFC West, and talk about how their teams have improved from last year to this year. So, and then there'll be training camp. Looking forward to training camp and then the preseason. But let me know if you guys had any other comments, questions. If not, I think I'm going to call it a night. And I hope everyone has a great week, great weekend, 4th of July weekend. Hopefully you stay safe. And I appreciate everyone tuning in to Jay in the Bay. And most likely I will probably stream. I don't know if I should stream on Sunday. What do you guys think? Should I stream on Sunday? I mean, it's going to be 4th of July. I don't know if I should stream on Sunday. People are probably going to be out and about. I might have to stream maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I guess we'll see. It's Kim says, thank you. All right. Livy's World says, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Livy's World. And Jay says, yes. As far as streaming on Sunday, I guess we'll see. We'll see if I can get a guest. If I can get a guest on with me this Sunday, then I probably will. If not, it might be later on during the week. But 4th of July, I got a feeling people are going to be out and about, having a good time, which they should. So looks like Jay says, yes, you should stream on Sunday. Okay, we'll see. We'll see if I get a guest in on Sunday. If I can get it, because if I don't have a guest, I guess we'll see. Let's see. I got another comment. Dude Baca says, would you love to see Aaron Rodgers in SF? That's an excellent question. I mean, there's no doubt Aaron Rodgers is an upgrade over Jimmy G and most likely Trey Lance for this year. But I don't think I would want to trade the future. I don't think I would want to trade Trey Lance for Aaron Rodgers. I don't think so. So that probably would not come to fruition. So, yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens this Sunday. Of course, I love conversing with you guys, but I'll probably try to get a guest of the NFC West this Sunday. And then if I don't have a guest, then I guess we'll see. Because what else we talking about? Faithful. There's not much to talk about about the Niners. So we'll see. But I appreciate everyone coming through. I'll definitely let you guys know well in advance from having a stream on Sunday or not. I guess we shall see what comes to fruition. And shout out to everyone who came to the stream on Jay and the Bay YouTube channel, and also on that good old Spotlight Sports Network. Shout out to the Spotlight Sports Network. And it's been a blast conversing with every one of you tonight. And this is your boy, Jay in the Bay, signing off. Hopefully you guys have a good week, good weekend. Celebrate the 4th of July. And I'll see you guys in the next one. It's been a pleasure.